to welcome you all to this landmark seminar titled Repositioning Yourself. First, our emphasis is on job hunting. Our emphasis is on skill set, LinkedIn optimization, as well as personal branding. Proverbs 18:25 says, an intelligent heart acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seek knowledge. And therefore, I'm so delighted, and I passionately thank God Almighty, who divinely sanctioned that this seminar should hold. I want to thank everyone who availed themselves this great opportunity to be part of this breakthrough to success. Over the years and in recent time, one of the unappealing privileges that has turned out to be an abuse, is when people do not take advantage of learning and also acquire life-changing skills. So it's if you do this, you end up being a better product. Taking this from my word. So we say that learning is a tool for improving yourself and giving opportunity to take vantage position. And when you learn, you take vantage position among people that you compete with. We must not fail to understand that this world is a world of competition, and when you don't take advantage, when you don't position yourself, you may find yourself behind the pecking order. And so we must endeavor to take this opportunity, to learn and place ourselves in a vantage position. And that is what this seminar, is basically meant for, so that you find yourself, in a strategic advantage position and aim for the best and go for the best. So I say a big welcome to our speakers, Fumi Oyekomi, Kayode Olatuji, and Wahab Mustafa. It's a great honor to have you in our midst. And of course, accepting our request, our offer for you to teach us this morning is an acknowledgement of the fact that you actually, you actually love impacting knowledge. You have love, for impacting knowledge, and as well as for human capacity development of youth. So we have gathered here from different walks of life, and we await the impartation which you are going to have in our life. We hope we will greatly benefit from this, or benefit from your pool of knowledge. Most of all, I welcome the leadership as well of Bible Fellowship of our great church, Christ Gospel Apostolic Church, CGAC Lagos area and overseas, for receiving this vision, to establish Excellent Fit initiative, with an objective of fostering a stronger, viable, productive, and enlightened youth in Christ Gospel Apostolic Church. And I want to believe that what you have at the back of your mind is for our youth to take their rightful position in every sphere of civilization, whether locally or internationally. To the youth president of BIFE, Pastor Jeje Lowo, Pastor Dipo Folari, our vibrant youth pastor, we welcome you to this program. We are happy to have you in our midst. All BIFE ESCO at different assembly level, we welcome you. The EFI coordinators, all the coordinators headed by our chairman, brother James Imakide, we welcome you. Sister Osem Mosaku, you have been wonderful. Evangelist Babatunde Jayola, you are a great partner. You have been wonderful in moving this initiative forward. Lope Fasoya, you are extraordinary. Your skill is exemplary. I welcome you to this program. You are a model, and I must say that our youth should look up to their fellow youth. Tolu is a youth that everybody should look up to. Our energy is out of this world. I welcome you. I welcome all the EFI ESCO to this first of a kind seminar. May the zeal and fire for excellence, never go out of us in the name of Jesus. I want to take this advantage. I want to take the advantage of this moment to also inform us that Excellent Initiative, FIT Initiative, has recorded a significant progress by holding this seminar today. And I say that this body will continue to pursue excellence in every sphere, in every area of life. We will not stop just at this seminar. This seminar is going to be an ongoing thing until we achieve our desired goal. And even when we do, we will push it beyond the goal that we have set for ourselves. Our skill, target is to improve and to increase, the competitiveness and productivity of our youth and make our church a knowledge-based church. So we will not stop to do this. Therefore, I want to announce to us that through this and other Bible means, we shall continue to pursue this course of excellence among our youth to the glory of God Almighty. Proverbs, I round up by saying that Proverbs 2:6 says, the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. So I pray that the Lord will give us wisdom, will give everybody here present today wisdom, and out of the mouth of the speaker will come abundant knowledge. And every ear that hear them speak will receive understanding in the name of Jesus. Let me once again congratulate all participants in today's seminar. I wish us a life-saving, a life-changing and productive time. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you, Pastor Awe. Thank you so much, sir. So now Evangelist Tunde Jayola will be introducing EFI to us properly. We all want to know what EFI is about, and after Evangelist Jayola, then we can go on to the first speaker series. Thank you. Let's have you, Evangelist Tunde Jayola.
All right, good morning, everyone, and yeah, welcome once more. Thank you, Pastor Awe, for the wonderful introduction to the program. Let me start by saying that the EFI was a brainchild of one of us, a lady that we all know. She had a vision, she shared the vision, and she also pitched the vision to the Bible Fellowship executives. And seeing the merit in the vision, the BIFEL executives commissioned a team to look into the possibility of turning this into something that will help the youths of the church. And of course, just like Pastor Awe mentioned, we have a general body that is responsible for EFI. And this body has done tremendous works in making this a reality. So the board is the one that appointed myself and Pastor Awe being the leader of the graduate group. And here we are today having the first seminar. Just to also make you understand, EFI is not only the graduate group. We have 3 groups. We have the undergraduate group, we have the admission seekers, and then we have the graduate group. The undergraduate group, of course, are university students. And ideally, as you leave the university, you need to graduate into the graduate group. The graduate group, of course, are university leavers, those who have completed their programs in the universities and are graduates, who probably are trying to get into the corporate world, are leading something on their own, or they are going for further studies. So these people are in the graduate group. The admission seeker, of course, the name speaks for itself. Secondary school students who are in the short period or in the short future looking to gain admission to universities and tertiary institutions generally. So this is the structure of EFI in brief, and I encourage you to encourage your loved ones and everyone that you know to fall into one of these groups. And it's important also that, especially for the graduate group, as you begin to get benefits from the group, don't leave the group. Stay on the group because you will be able to help others as you do so. 1 minute, please. Okay, so sorry for the interruption. So I was saying that please try to stay on the group and not leave the group as your prayers are answered, so to say. So that's the brief history of EFI. The focus of EFI, of course, as Pastor Aware mentioned in brief, is to help each category of students achieve their purpose. So it's important that each and every one of us have a clear purpose because aim at nothing, you eat nothing. Okay, we all need to have aims and objectives, and the purpose of this group is to allow or help you to achieve these aim and objectives because everyone in life must have stood on someone's shoulder to achieve whatever he or she has achieved. There is no man is an isolation, or no man is an island rather. So it's important that we all stand on each other's shoulder to be able to achieve whatever purpose that we have. So please don't leave the group as you have your aims and objectives achieved. It's important. And like I said, as you move from admission seeker to undergraduate to graduate, please move the groups because this way you will be able to maximize the benefits that you have from being members of EFI. Just to say that this is not a separate group, it is an arm of Bible Fellowship. And of course, Bible Fellowship is an arm of Christ Gospel Apostolic Church. So this is not a movement. It is not an independent movement. No, it's a brainchild of the Bible Fellowship and will continue to be under the Bible Fellowship. So as many of us who are not yet part of the Bible Fellowship, please let's try to join. It's important. Many of us are products of the Bible Fellowship, and we know how much this has impacted us. I particularly, I have stood on people's shoulders. Pastor Dipo Folari, for instance. We never discussed it, but I know how much his pace setting has influenced a lot of us, especially those of us from Okayo to say. And I think that you also, as you begin to have your successes, please stay on the group. It's important. Okay. One of the things that I would like to say is that this group or this initiative is not to take away what students are known for or the things that are important in life. I know that as Christians, we always talk about grace, we always talk about mercy, we always talk about these things. But I think that these things don't take away hard work. So please always have it in mind that even though you are part of this group or you are part of this initiative, one of the most important things that you need to do as an individual is to work hard. I have hardly seen a man who has not worked hard and who has risen to the pinnacle of whatever industry he is. Even if by grace he gets there, sometimes we talk about being promoted into failure. People get promoted, and when they get to probably become the MD, then we realize, or they realize that they don't have the skill set to succeed as the MD. So one of the things that this group is aiming to do, of course, is to develop that skill set, to develop the skill set for success in each and every one of you that are members. So please make use of it. The other thing that I'd like to mention also is that on the group, we have jobs posted from time to time. Please take advantage of this. If you are almost qualified and you think that you are not fully qualified, please call whoever posted the job, have a private chat, find out if it's possible um, to apply. At least I had the story of someone who was not exactly qualified because the course of study is different from what was advertised. Secondly, he just finished from the university and has not even had any experience. And not, he hasn't even gone for NYSC. But by reaching out today, he has a job. If he had not reached out, if he had assumed that, okay, well, that is not my field, today he will still be hoping to have a job. So please, it's important that you reach out as jobs are being posted. Please take advantage of all these jobs that are being posted. So hard work is important. Of course, integrity is another bit that you need to worry about. Um, Warren Buffett said that there are two attributes, or probably three. I don't remember exactly. The first one is integrity. Then he said the second one is remember the first one. Okay, if a man does not have integrity, he doesn't have anything. Okay, and most of the companies that I know, one of the values that they have is integrity. If you are not a man of integrity, you don't get a job. In some of the interview questions, they even ask questions that borders on integrity, even though they don't exactly call it integrity. And if you fail those questions, no matter how smart you are, you don't get the job. So it's important that we have this. And like I said earlier, be your brother's keeper. It's important. Uh, as Christians, one of the things that, or one of the reasons why we don't disappear after giving our lives to Christ is so that we can help those that are around. If we all disappear after giving our lives to Christ, who will preach to the unbelievers? Okay, and it's the same thing in our world. If you are if you are highly placed in your place of work, it's also to help others. And I'm not saying to cut corners for others. No, it is to help others by bringing the job to their notice, by bringing the opening to their notice. You don't need to do more than this. You don't need to start exposing questions, interview questions. No, this is not what we are talking about. All you need to do is to say, there is an opening in my place of work. Apply if you are qualified. And your job is done. It's left for the individual to do the needful to be able to get employed. Okay. How can you get the best out of EFI? With this, I'll close my session. Participate, participate, ask questions. As engineers, and probably this is why it helps someone like me. One of the attributes of an engineer is curiosity. They say curiosity kills the dog, or is it the cat, whichever one of the animals it kills. But as engineers, curiosity doesn't kill. It's the basic skill that an engineer needs. If they say that 1 + 1 is 2, as an engineer, you need to ask why. Prove to me that it is true. Okay. So please ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. Just to pardon my use of the Yoruba language, they say that "Abere ọ̀nà kò kí ń ṣìnà." Okay. If you continuously ask, you won't miss your way. Even in the industry, they say that if in doubt, ask. Ask questions. If you are in doubt at all, ask questions. If what you want to do, you are not absolutely certain, ask questions. And this is how I leave you also. Please ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. Because by asking questions, we will be able to achieve our goals. And if you also check the ministry of Jesus, you realize that most of the issues that we have answers to are as a result of people asking questions. John chapter 3, Nicodemus. People ask him about marriage. People ask him about those who have been married several times. So people ask questions and Jesus answered them. Then it means that if you want to be successful in life as well, you need to ask questions. So that's about it. EFI will continue to strive to get the best for each and every one of you. I wish you the very best. Take today's session seriously. Ask questions, like I said. Even after the session and you are not satisfied, please ask questions. I'm sure that our our leaders for today are willing to answer your questions even post today. Okay, so please ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. Thank you, everyone. I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much, Evangelist Today Jayola. It is our first speaker series, and the person coming on board is a friend, a boss, Wahab himself. So I'll be reading his biography. Wahab is a first-class graduate of economics from the prestigious University of Lagos. He is also a finance professional with proven analytical skills and a strong knowledge of finance concepts. Although he started his career as an investment bank analyst, he is now fully focused on research and strategy, where he writes insightful, periodic, and thematic investment research reports for portfolio managers and equity investors to guide their investment decisions. Wahab enjoys teaching. He approaches tutoring with mindset of distilling complex information into simple and easily digestible pieces. This makes it enjoyable for him even when money does not exchange hand. Let's have you, Wahab. Wahab, thank you. Welcome on board. Let's have you, Wahab.
Hi, thank you very much, Tolu.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much, Pastor Abayomi, and then Evangelist and Babatunde. I think Evangelist Babatunde had pretty much, covered the entire story. It was as if, he's speaking from my mind, right? That just basically shows that, I mean, his experience in the industry and he's been there. I believe that he has coached many other young talents, right? I think that's what basically made, his opening remark quite insightful. I was also trying to jot when he was speaking, so so that I'm able to use, some of his key points to sort of enunciate my own points. So I believe I have 20 minutes, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'll try to speak for 20 minutes and I won't go beyond that. First of all, let me reintroduce myself, because I mean, most of the time when I am sitting in a hall to listen to a somewhat professional, or I'm in an interview and I want to be interviewed with someone who I believe to be professional, one of the key questions that typically come to my mind is this guy really qualified to actually speak with me, right? So, and that I also do when I want to speak with other people, just so they sort of have an idea of where to place me and whether or not they should take what I'm saying, right? So I had graduated from Unilag, as Tolu Lokwe just said. Um, Immediately after Unilag, I joined ARM as an investment banking analyst. ARM is one of the largest non-bank, in fact, the largest non-bank, financial institution in Nigeria. And then 2 years after that, I moved to Quadras Capital, where I basically fully focused on research. And in the last, 4 months, I joined Chapel Hill Denham. Chapel Hill Denham is perhaps the largest investment banking advisory company in Nigeria today. So that's basically what has been my progress, right? So what I'm going to be doing right now is just basically, try to highlight some of the key things I believe would be perhaps insightful or useful for university students and people who had already graduated looking to take their first job, or perhaps some of the people who had already started their first job, but they believe that they are not in the right career path, right? Okay, so that's basically what I'm going to be doing between now and the next 20 minutes. So first of all, what I'd like to do, I believe that I'm speaking with quite a number of young people. I would have loved to see, their faces, but I mean, obviously because of COVID-19, this is what, life generally has been reduced to, right? So what that then means is that we would have to switch to basically understand the new environment that we're in right now, and just basically to act in that direction. All right. So what I'm going to do, thank you very much, Jacob, for switching on your video. So what I'd like to do right now is to basically try to scare you guys. First of all, before I will now give you some sort of comfort, as my presentation progresses, right? If you check the the recently released unemployment number in Nigeria as at Q2 2020, what you see is that unemployment rate in Nigeria is about 27.1%. That's about one of the highest, in Africa today, right? But countries like South Africa is still way ahead of Nigeria, right? So that's essentially what MBS told us, that about 27% of the Nigerian working labor force is actually currently unemployed, right? So if you think about 27%, what you see is that, well, 27% is not that high. I mean, we know some countries that unemployment is around 40, 45, and the north of that sort of number. But if you check the number a lot more closer, I think that's what people like us, that's what we do. What we try to do when we see data is that we try to look beyond what everybody on the street would see. Everybody on the streets only saw that, unemployment in Q2 is at 27%. But what we basically, what I basically did to sort of put a better context to that number is that what I did was to basically added, the underemployment number to that same unemployment number. And that basically gives that unemployment plus underemployment in Nigeria is about 56%. If you had underemployment data to it, underemployment basically means, for people who are not familiar with economics, underemployment basically means that people who, for instance, studied medicine, and at the end of the day they are receptionists, right, in maybe a shop, right, or whatnot. So generally, people who are doing stuff that way beneath what they had studied in the university. So I mean, in my own opinion, I count those people as underemployed. At 56%, Nigeria unemployment and underemployment rate is actually quite high, right? Now, to make matter worse, what I also saw in that data is that I would have loved to present the graph right now that I'm seeing. That would have made it a lot easier for people to relate with. But I mean, just to complete, what I'm saying at the start of the presentation, if you look a lot deeper into the number, what you see is that 64% of people who are unemployed are actually youth of between age 15 and 34. That basically means that unless you have a parent who is willing to sponsor you to Canada tomorrow, or to US, or to one of those Scandinavian countries, what you see is that, for you to succeed in Nigeria today as a very young individual, you would have to do something out of the ordinary, right? Now, this is me scaring you. Now, let me give you some sort of comfort, right? The comfort is that, as huge as this underemployment and unemployment number is in Nigeria today, there are still massive opportunity in Nigeria. Massive opportunity in Nigeria. I've had this discussion many times with Tolu. For instance, in my company, for 1.5 years, we're looking to hire 2 analysts that will be covering our banking sector and some other sector. For 1.5 years, we couldn't get anybody to fill that role, right? We interviewed countless of individuals. We couldn't get anybody to fill that role. That just basically means that it is not so much of the fact that there's no job in Nigeria. It is so much the fact that there are, skill mismatch in the country currently, right? So, I mean, for you right now as a young individual, what you try to do right now is, between now and perhaps in the next few period that you'll be giving yourself that target, you need to try to understand how are you going to bridge that sort of skill deficit in the country, such that you are one of those people who industries, big companies are going to be chasing around. Again, another comfort I'm going to give you before I proceed with my conversation this morning is that when coronavirus basically hit Nigeria, I think it was roughly around March. That was when President Muhammad Buhari decided to implement some sort of lockdown procedure, right? Just basically to contain the virus, right? Between that March and around July, it was reported that more than 20 million jobs was lost in Nigeria. And in this same period where a lot of people were losing their jobs, I mean, I know quite a number of people that got bigger jobs in that same period. I was, fortunately to be part of those people, because I had to move from my previous company to another company in the same period that pandemic was taking quite a number of jobs from Nigerians. Is this some sort of my own doing? I mean, I would say no. I mean, there's some sort of grace in between that I would believe that, helps me in between. I'm on the way, right? And not just me, quite a number of people that I know who are my friend has, changed job in this same period of pandemic, right? But I mean, I think that beyond the fact that it was a case of grace, it was also a case of the fact that we had positioned ourselves, and we had accumulated some sort of skill that the industry that we're operating are actually looking for. And that was what made us, indispensable for our previous company and also sought after for our new company. I still know quite a number of people currently going through interview processes and trying to move from their current job to another job. That just basically means that there's a lot of opportunity in Nigeria. It's just basically for you to position yourself such that opportunity will be would be something that you'll be talking about today, right? And for me personally, I mean, I've said this thing many times. For you to put yourself in that sort of position that many companies are going to be looking for you, I mean, there are, I think, about 6 basic steps that I typically preach to some of my, let me call them students or my friends from the university who are still looking for a job, or my other, juniors from the university, right? First of all, one of the first few things is that you have to finish university very strongly. It's extremely important. It's extremely important. In fact, today, quite a number of corporate in Nigeria will tell you that if you want to apply for these openings in our company, you must finish with a first class or a 2-1. What that basically means is that your 4 years or 5 years in the university is actually not for play. It's actually for serious work. You have to know that. I mean, when I was entering Unilag for the first time, I knew that the opportunity that I've been granted by gaining admission into Unilag is more or less going to be my passport to a better life, right? So I took advantage of it, and I sat down for a long period of time. I read extremely hard. I went to classes. I did my assignments, just basically with the mindset that I cannot finish with anything less than a 2-1, right? I was targeting a first class, although I eventually finished with the first class, right? But my target then was at least a 2-1. I must graduate with a 2-1, right? So finishing strong in school is extremely, in fact, it cannot be over emphasize. You have to understand that university is a serious business, and you have to take it as a serious business, such that you don't graduate and then looking for other opportunities that is beneath 2-1, right? Is what I'm saying right now, does it necessarily mean that people who finish below 2-1 are they going to have a terrible life? Absolutely not, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that. What I'm just basically saying is that to put yourself in that sort of position where you would have the opportunity to apply for any job in Nigeria, you have to finish university very strongly. I also know a number of companies that they really don't require you to finish with a 2-1. Some would ask for a 2-2. Some will ask for a third class. And I also know quite a number of people that eventually did well for themselves in life, after eventually finishing with the third class, right? But for you to be part of those people who would have access to that massive opportunity in Nigeria, because as you are finishing university, there's quite a number of companies that you have an opportunity to apply to. But I mean, the unfortunate thing is that most of them, their benchmark is a 2-1. That's why it's extremely important for you to finish very strongly in the university. And secondly, whilst you are striving to do extremely well in school, you have to understand that there are some extraordinary things that you have to do along with your book. For instance, you have to understand that, taking perhaps some professional courses, attending some professional trainings, things that would prepare you for life after university. You have to take them seriously, right? And I'll give you an instance. Excuse me. When I was in my second year, whenever anybody asks me, "Oh, Wahab, you are on a very strong first class." I think in my second year, I was still on 5.0 on aggregate CGPA. When my friends or when anybody asks me, "Well, what would you like to do after university?" what I typically tell them is that I would become a lecturer, because at that period, the only thing I could see was being a lecturer. there was no other opportunity in my head that I could do with my life, right? That's why I would typically limit my career opportunities or my career aspiration to being a lecturer. And that's basically because of the fact that I enjoyed it when I teach a lot, right? But in my third year, I now eventually found out about a program called Talent Mind. So in Talent Mind, so it was in Talent Mind. I mean, luckily for me, I applied to Talent Mind. I got in for the training. I think I had to pay about 50,000 naira. I couldn't afford the money then. I had to, struggle to make sure that I paid for the for the training. The training lasted for about 6 weeks. So it was in that training that they actually introduced me to what finance industry is. I mean, all of the things that they couldn't teach us in our classrooms, I learned it within a period of 6 weeks in Talent Mind. In Talent Mind, they taught us about the industry as a whole. They taught us about, basic financial modeling. They taught us about how to ace interview, and they introduced us to many companies that we could apply to upon graduating from the university, right? So I can tell you for free now that if I had not taken that course in Talent Mind, I'll probably not be in the industry right now. Would I be suffering today? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I would have been done with my MSc. I would have taken a job as a graduate assistant in the University of Lagos, and my career path would have been different, right? But the bridge between my academic years and my move to finance industry is just basically the opportunities of Talent Mind. So you have to put your ears down. What are people doing? What do you want to do in life? Is finance industry a thing that you would like to do, or perhaps it is consulting, or maybe it is, being a lecturer, right? You just have to understand at some point in the university. So that's basically, the second point, and one of the key things I believe, led me to where I'm currently where I currently am today, in Chapel Hill, right? And third, a point for me really is one of the most important points, right, is networking. Right. Networking is extremely important. I don't know how I can oversay this one. It is, in fact, I think networking is even a lot more important than finishing well in school. I mean, obviously, we're in Nigeria, right? You would know that, some people are occupying some places or some position in Nigeria that they are not really qualified to hold, right? But based on the fact that they knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody else, that essentially, puts them in that sort of position, right? Networking is extremely important. You have to network with your classmates. Your classmates is your primary network pool, right? The first job I got was when I interned with a asset and resource management company in my third year. That was immediately after I was done with Talent Mind, right? I got an internship opportunity with ARM, and eventually I had to join the company when I graduated from the university. How did I get Talent Mind? ARM internship. Then I think we called it AYTP. That's ARM Young Talent Program, right? It was a program for about, I think, 8 weeks or thereabouts, and we were paid. I think that was the first time I worked and earned salary. I think they paid us roughly 100K. Then in 2015, it was a huge sum of money, right? And that was when I knew that, guy, no matter what it takes, so we have to join them in this industry, because that's where the money is, right? You want to quickly move out of poverty, you have to join the industry, in my own opinion. So it was my friend that actually sent me the link. I had no idea that there was anything about ARM AYCP. I had no idea it existed. I had no idea what it meant. I had no idea what is there to do. You understand? It was just one of my friends that was like, wow, these guys are recruiting. Do you think it's something that you might be interested in? I mean, one of the reasons why the guy sent me the link was basically because of the fact that we're friends, and we're friends beyond just educational friends. We're friends where we discuss our career opportunity or career aspirations, right? And I suspect that, I mean, they were close to 160 people in my class. He could have distributed it to our class group, but he didn't do that. He sent it to me privately. And that was my breakthrough to the industry, right? But your classmates is important. NYSC mates, they are another source of network for you, right? I still keep contact with some of my, all those, when you go for NYS in Nigeria, that's when you meet people from all the 6 geopolitical zone in the country. In fact, you get to meet all those politicians, children, right, probably would have gone to school in London or in the US, and they are now back to serve the motherland, right? It's important you have their network. It is important you keep talking to them on a regular basis, because I mean, you never can say what would happen from associating with those sort of people. And finally, is LinkedIn. One of the few things I've learned about LinkedIn, I believe someone else is going to take us through LinkedIn optimization. I'm not sure, right? But I mean, to sort of give you some sort of tip, one of the things I learned about LinkedIn is that almost everybody on LinkedIn are willing and ready to help when you reach out to them, right? When you reach out to them, they would give you advice and not necessarily give you a job, but they will tell you what to do. I remember when I graduated from the university, I was sending, messages to a number of people, and some would reply, some other would leave me on hold. Other people would ask for my phone number and they would call me to just give me some sort of advice as to what to do and how to approach, my job hunting and whatnot. So LinkedIn is extremely important. In fact, I know quite a number of people that got their job via LinkedIn. Secondly, my recent job that I'm doing right now with Chipotle was basically, as a result of the fact that I was connected to the boss on LinkedIn, and then we had a conversation. Okay, so would you like to do this? I know that I've seen you many times in the industry. I think you should submit your CV and let's have the conversation. And that was it. It took less than a week for me to get that job, right? It was basically pure from LinkedIn. So you need to take it extremely seriously. And finally, not finally, this is the fourth point. I think I've not overused my time. I hope I've not overused my time. Tolu, please give me some sort of guidance, so please.
All right. You have about 4 or 5 minutes more.
Okay, thank you. Let me just quickly wrap up. The first time the fourth point for me here is you have to have your CV handy, and then you have to apply to targeted focus jobs, right? The first time I had a CV was when I was in year 2. It was just one of my friends that basically walked into my room that we were looking for some people to work for them for one or two things. Well, do you have a CV? I said no. The guy was shocked that how can a year 2 student does not have a CV, right? So that CV is more or less like your passport. Is a small note that is actually highlighting how good you are and why companies should hire you. That's why you need to spend quite a number of time in drawing up your CV, right? Because before people even see your picture, before they see your face, before they have some sort of um first impression, right? The first thing that they will see is your CV, and that your CV is going to say a lot about you. It's going to say a lot about you, and you have to take it seriously. It's as if you understand that something is going to move you from point A to point B, right? So, and you're not going to be present when those sort of movement is going to be happening. It's your CV that is going to be telling people who you are and what you are capable of and whatnot. And I mean, as students or as fresh graduates, I believe that trying to draw your CV might be a lot tough, because I mean, you probably would not have any experience. That's why when I was joining the university for the first time in 2010, I think 2012, 2011, 2012, right? The first thing that they told me was that I need to take on responsibilities, a lot more responsibilities, such that I'm able to tell people these are the things, beyond the fact that I finished with a very strong first class or 2-1, these are the things I did in addition to that, right? When I was interviewing for many jobs, upon graduating from the university, the things I kept telling them was that I was the chairman of this, I was chairman of that, I was this and that, and people were quite a number of people were really impressed that you spend this amount of time organizing this. I think is quite remarkable, right? That's why you need to volunteer a lot, right? What Tolu is doing right now is actually extremely important, not just for people who she's impacting on their lives, but for us, for our life herself, right? Because by the time she's attending interviews, right, and I know that some companies are actually very serious about networking, about what do you call it now, about volunteering, right? These are the kind of things that she would say that she did, and obviously it's going to work in our favor. And the fifth point right now for me is preparation for interview. By the time you drop your CV, you start applying to targeted companies, and people see your CV as being impressive, what they will do is that they will call you for interview, right? And one of the very few ways I live my life is the more you sweat during practice, the less you bleed during battle, right? If you want to attend interview, right, you can, try to go online, Google some of the key steps that you're supposed to take, some of the expected questions that you might be anticipating, right? But one of the most important thing for you to do is to practice. Practicing is very important. Someone like me, I'm a very shy person. I can't really call a random friend to be telling them, they should ask me question and I'll be answering them just to basically simulate that interview process. I can't do that. I'm too shy to do that. One of the things that help me a lot is I go in front of the mirror, I say what I want to say, count many times. I would say it until I start bleeding, right? By the time you do that, once you get to the interview stage, what you see is that you will become so fluent that you too, you'll be shocked as to how fluent you can become, right? Everybody has capacity to become great in life. What we don't have equally is the ability to put in the effort, right? When you put in the effort, what you see is that you are extraordinary. A lot of people are extraordinary. And I mean, as I've told many people my story, right? I moved from not being able to read and write about 10 years ago to working as an associate in Chapel Hill today, right? And it was not basically because of the fact that I have some sort of innate extraordinary ability. It was because I put in the effort. I sat down, I read, I practiced interview process, I practiced exam, I practiced almost everything till my legs are bleeding, right? And those are the key things that would basically position me, to gain my confidence, number one, to speak a lot more fluently, and number three, to be a lot more confident, right? So preparation is very key when you're going for interview. If you don't know the kind of question they could ask, you can ask people from the company that you might have networked with in the past, that they should give you some sort of guidance that, please, what are the questions that you think they would ask me? Then you prepare. Is very, very important. It's very important. I believe that Evangelist Babatunde actually mentioned preparation when he was giving us his opening remark. And finally I ran up with this: you have to remain hungry. I like it when people reach out to me on LinkedIn when they would have gone through my career progression, and they'll be like, oh, wow, this is someone I'd like to be like, right? All of those things, I don't let them get to me, right? I don't let it get to my head, because I understand that even me myself, I don't believe I'm where I want to be currently, right? I am still very much hungry. I'm still out there. When I say hungry, you have to understand that you can't be shy when it comes to taking over your life, right? It's your life at the end of the day. For male, female, you have to understand that, whatever you are doing right now, that's not the end, right? That can't be the end. I'm sure that your goal cannot be, this is where I want to be, and that's it, right? So you have to, go extraordinarily hard, keep looking for other opportunity. You might not necessarily be looking for job, right? You could be an entrepreneur, think about, solutions to solve problems, things that would be remarkable, things that would change your life, right? So what I used to tell people is that, those people around you in your church, those people around you in your class, as in the university, they are not necessarily your competition. Your competition is beyond those people that you can see around you right now. Because some people used to think that Folashade is running too fast. I want to run as fast as Folashade. What you should understand is that Folashade is not even your competition, right? There are some student right now, or perhaps fresh graduate right now, that graduated from LSC in London, Oxford, BSc Oxford in London, some of the Ivy Leagues, in the US, right? And they are still coming to this same Nigeria to come and look for a job, right? These guys, in fact, they are almost like a threat to you, because they are fluent in English language. They think beyond the way they taught us here in Africa, right? They've been exposed to, foreign foreign environment, right? So what you should understand is that your competition is with those guys, right? Your competition is with those guys. So you have to put yourself in that sort of position where when they sit both of you down, you have to outperform them. You have to outdo them. Yeah, sure, you understand what I'm saying. Those, because I have those sort of people currently in my environment in where I previously work and where I'm currently work. What you see is that they are quite different from you because of the fact that they have, better education, right? So that addition, that extra effort that you are putting into what you are doing beyond your mere BSc or mere other trainings, right? That is what is going to put you at par with those people, and then you compete with them aggressively by the time you get to the industry or the job environment. So when you remain hungry and you understand that your competition is actually beyond who you can see or people who are around you, that's when you do understand that the task ahead of you is actually large, but it's quite doable. An average person like me is actually doing it. I mean, what to say that it's a very young, vibrant, and talented people. Like, I can't see your faces, but I'm using the adjective, hoping that is the adjective that actually basically match you guys. So, I mean, in that case, I'm going to rest my conversation.
Thank you so much, Wahab. Thanks a lot. That's a bomb. Like, I jotted down a few points here. Network is a very, very key thing. While in school, I didn't really network, but you don't want to try my network now. My networking skill is very, very strong now. And LinkedIn, I have always been an advocate of LinkedIn. If you're really, really serious, you go back to LinkedIn. In fact, every day you check your LinkedIn and make sure you're up and doing too. Then one very strong for me is remain hungry, no matter the level you are in your career right now. Remain hungry. Keep getting hungry for greater things. And let me just cap it up. Even at the point where Wahab is right now, Wahab is still writing exams. Wahab has CFA 1, if you know what CFA is, and Wahab is still preparing for CFA 2. So there is so much to be done. Now, from where it stopped, LinkedIn optimization, we have our second speaker. This is someone who has been using LinkedIn a lot, and she has been gaining a lot from personalizing and branding herself, not only on LinkedIn, but on other social media platforms. Fumilayo Oyekomi is a personal and career development coach, passionate about helping youth unleash their potential. She, she, she utilizes the LinkedIn platform and her newsletter to share tips for personal, career, and business growth. She currently works with Growdians, an initiative that aims to build students' professional capacities, where she trains participants on interviews and also hosts career development webinars. She has an avid interest in consulting and strategy and has interned in KPMG as a risk consultant and has worked as strategy consultant with different organizations. Her short-term goal is to combine her interests and passions to make maximum impact among youths and empower them to discover their talents. In her free time, she enjoys playing Scrabble, learning languages, volunteering, watching cooking talent shows. Yeah, watching cooking talent shows. All those shows where they cook. Um, let's have you, Fumi Layo Oyekomi. Welcome on board, Fumi.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. Thank you to the organizers. It's a pleasure to be here. And for the next 20 to 30 minutes, I'll be talking about personal branding and LinkedIn optimization. So make sure to have your notepads because I'm going to be sharing a lot of information. I'll be sharing my screen with you now. The screen sharing has been disabled. Please help me out here.
Galadima, please help her out. Enable her this thing. How is it
now? She can do that now. She can do that now.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to be talking about personal branding and LinkedIn optimization. My name is Fumlayo Ekomi. I am a career and strategy consultant. So what do you think about when you hear personal branding? Personal branding is the image you want to portray of yourself to the world. So you want to let people know that this is what you stand for, this is your values, these are your career interests, these are the things that you are very skilled in, your personality. All of that is what personal branding is about. It is the values I want to be identified with. So when you're not in the room or when you're not in a particular space, what will people say about you? If you look at some of these LinkedIn personalities like Eitayo Gumola, Peter Ashade, and Dipo Awojide, when you hear their names, something comes to your mind immediately. And the way a company brands its product is the way you should brand yourself. So when you think about why would you pick Coke over Pepsi, it's because one has been able to brand and sell itself more than the other. And based on the way you brand yourself, you'll be able to win opportunities, scholarship opportunities, internships, appointments, jobs. And when you're able to brand yourself, there is nothing there is nowhere that you cannot sell yourself or get to. So how do you build a personal brand? You need to, first of all, identify your values. So what is important to you? What are the things that are important to you, and what are the things that you're passionate about? What matters most to you? So when you're talking about a particular topic, is it something that you really enjoy talking about? For example, artificial intelligence. Is that where your strong skills or strong knowledge lies? Do you really enjoy talking about artificial intelligence or strategy? When you've identified what you're really passionate about, then you cannot begin to build your brand around that thing. So when I began my personal brand road journey, I kind of identified that I was passionate about strategy and consulting, and so I made the effort to build my brand around it. I was also passionate about personal development, and so I also built my brand around it. And so far, I have made a lot of progress from the time I began. So identifying what you stand for, what matters to you, or your values may take time. And it may also take talking to your friends, talking to people that you've worked with before, your managers, your professors, anybody around you that can give you insight on what they think your personality is, if introspection is not giving so much insight. So after you've identified your values, it's now time to build love and trust with the brand. Yeah, so how do you build love and trust? You do that by sharing your stories, telling your stories in ways that people can relate to. And when you tell your story, you should say it in a way that you should not just say, oh, I failed in this endeavor. You should tell a story that people can learn from and that people can relate to. So if, for example, you didn't get a particular job opportunity because you did not apply well, not prepare for interview well, the way you tell it would be that, what I learned from this is you should learn to, because you shouldn't just focus on the failure, you should focus on what you learned and what other people can learn from it. So you should say something like, this is what I learned from my failure, and this is how I have been able to put it into practice. So when you are able to build love and trust with the brand, people will definitely learn from you and will always look up to you and reach out to you when they need help with that particular area that you're very skilled in. Then you can also build your brand by writing things that you're passionate about. And that is the reason why we have platforms like Medium, LinkedIn, social media platforms basically. And you can write about things that interest you, things that you find intriguing. Maybe you want questions, maybe you want answers from the audience. You think the things that you post will engage people. You can start writing about these things. And if you don't even know where to start from, you can begin following people that post insights that really interest you. And from there, you begin to get inspiration. You can also comment your piece on people's posts and also begin to post your accomplishments and failures. Then you also build your personal brand by being authentic and accessible. So personal branding and authenticity works hand in hand, and this cannot be overemphasized. you cannot build your personal brand without being your true self. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, but you need to show your real self online and make it easy for people to connect with you. Then you should also include your audience in your journey and become a trusted source for information. So you need to be extremely self-aware. When you are self-aware, you know what your strengths are and you're able to lean into your strengths. I'm sure that you've probably heard somewhere that you should focus on your strengths and work on your weaknesses. But I would say that as much as you focus on your strengths, you should also try to work on improving your weaknesses, because your weaknesses, if there are too many or if they are so prominent, they can destabilize or make you seem incompetent. So focus on your strengths, but also work on your weakness. Then building your brand with authenticity attracts like-minded people. So you don't even need to look for them. They'll begin to follow you on LinkedIn, on anywhere. And you don't see that your followers are increasing and increasing, even without reaching out to as many people. When you begin to show your true self online and you're authentic, you will definitely be like a magnet for like-minded people. So how do you build your personal brand? You can build your personal brand with skills, with experiences, with your stories. And your stories include your achievements, your failures, your fears, your successes. And you can also build knowledge gained from networking events and webinars. So you've attended, just like this webinar that you've attended now, what are the lessons that you learned from it? You can post it online and also share it with your network, because you also benefit from it. So you can begin, if you don't know where to begin from, start posting lessons that you've learned from webinars, from workshops, things like that. So what are the personal branding pitfalls to avoid at all costs? Do not lie about your qualification. Do not say that you are a Harvard student when you just done a Harvard online course. You are not a Harvard student, you just did a course. Do not lie about anything. Bad grammar and spelling. Make sure to always check your posts before, make sure to always read through your posts before posting it online, because you want to avoid grammatical errors and spelling. They're very important. Then discriminatory comments. Do not post anything that would make you come across as discriminatory, because you will be attacked. And apart from being attacked, just take, for example, if you post a discriminatory comment today and sometime in the future you're running for a role in gender policy, they will definitely dig it up for you, because when you know how the internet works, they will dig it up for you and say she's not the right candidate for this position. So do not post discriminatory comments. Don't post about drinking and drugs. If that is something you're engaged in, I think you should keep it your private life. Then do not post provocative content. So I've come across some posts on LinkedIn that are really provocative, and I think that if you have the urge to post any provocative content, just switch off your phone, because it is not something that you should even engage in. Then unprofessional name. Building your brand should be professional, and avoid any name like Queen Bee, Sexy John, like you can see on my screen, and anything like that. So some of the book recommendations I have for you are You Are the Brand by Jenny Lee Grace, Be Your Own Brand of Sexy, and brand storytelling. So any of these books, you can read them, learn how to brand yourself, learn how to sell yourself online, learn how to captivate people with your story. Yes, so we move on to LinkedIn optimization now. So many of us probably have heard of LinkedIn, but we do not utilize it as much. And over the, very quickly, I'll be taking us through how to set up a stellar LinkedIn profile and how to optimize it. So stay with me. What are some facts I need to know about LinkedIn? So LinkedIn has so many people, and over 25 million LinkedIn profiles get viewed every day. And so when you need to build your brand so that you can stand out from over 40 million or more than that people that are on LinkedIn. And when you're able to build your brand, you stand out. And even LinkedIn recognizes people that people that engage properly and build their brand. Because if you check some people's profile, you see LinkedIn Personality of the Year 2019, 2020. So all of that is about personal branding and consistency. And when you include a photo, it increases your views by 11, increases your views 11 times. And some of these other facts that you need to know about LinkedIn to be able to properly engage. So moving on, how do you set up your LinkedIn profile? You need to add a photo and a LinkedIn banner. Then you need to add a headline, add a compelling summary, detail your work experience, add education and certifications. Then you also add your volunteer experiences, skills, recommendations, and accomplishments. So all of these are important. And if you haven't set up all of this, you will see that your LinkedIn profile will say it is incomplete. Yeah. So when you've done all of this, your LinkedIn profile will show the all-star, and that would tell you that, oh, you're doing something right. But if it hasn't shown the all-star, then I think you need to go back and set it up properly. So starting with the photo, like you can see in this image, the photo shows their head and their head. So when you're taking a LinkedIn photo, don't look away from the camera. Your photo should be visible to anybody that sees it. So even without clicking on your profile, if your name just pops up in connection recommendations, the person should be able to see your face clearly. And members with the photo get 9 times more connection requests, 21 times more profile views, and 36 times more messages. Then moving on to the banner, your banner should intimate people on what you're about. So I don't know if any of you have seen me on LinkedIn, but my banner has kind of captured everything that I'm passionate about, everything that I'm interested in, and that is what a banner should be about. So if you check here, this person is a sales personnel, and on her LinkedIn banner, you can see more leads and clients, drive more sales, increase authority and trust. So your LinkedIn banner should intimate people on what you're about. Then moving on, you have your headline. So your headline is like your instant elevator pitch. I don't know how many of you know about what an elevator pitch is, but an elevator pitch is what you tell somebody in very few seconds that will stick to their minds and that they will identify you with. So your headline acts as an elevator pitch, and it should be written in a way that it will intrigue the reader to want to check out your profile. So if you go on LinkedIn, when your name pops up, it will show something under your photo. That is your headline. And your headline should not just be student at the University of Lagos, recent graduate of University of Ibadan. That's not what should be your headline. That should not be your elevator pitch at any point in time. So if you can check here, it says Forbes 30 under 30, LinkedIn Power Profile, Founder at. So these are probably all achievements and what she currently does. So if you are currently working in a particular industry, you can put it there, investment banking, consulting, anything. If you are enthusiast, that is somebody that wants to pursue a career in that, you can put consulting enthusiast in your LinkedIn. But mind you, when you put consulting enthusiast in your LinkedIn, it should not remain there 1 year after, because within 1 year, I do not think that you should still be in the same position as you were when you put the consulting enthusiast on your profile. So you should always update your headline as you have more accomplishment, because that is your elevator page, and it is very important that it is apt, concise, and shows important details. Then you have your summary, and your summary should be easy to read. Your summary should focus on your career accomplishments and aspirations. And please avoid hypes and superlatives. So I've seen so many summaries that says, I am a very hardworking, dedicated, committed team player with excellent communication and interpersonal skills. Avoid hypes and superlatives like that. Go straight to the point. Mention your career accomplishments and aspirations. Like they always say, show, don't tell. If you have communication skills, show how you've gotten them. It's very easy to just give yourself so many skills without showing, but you come across as more authentic when you show how you've gotten these things. Then your summary also include a call to action. So you can say things like, connect with me, send me an email, check out my hashtag, follow my hashtag for more info, that kind of thing. That kind of call to action can be included in your summary. Then you can also include any media in your summary section. So if you see this example here, it says, I have worked in digital marketing for over 13 years, and my background in this has helped me develop a passion for social media. Social media. So you can even include the things that interest you and the industry that you have experience in. Then for your detailing of experience, you need to detail your work experience. And when you're mentioning your work experiences, be sure to include the roles that you are in and the correct start and end date. I have also seen profiles that people who have left the positions don't put an end date there, and I think it is a misrepresentation if you look at it. What you should also include the things you did in the role. So if you say you were the publicity manager for a particular company, you can also talk about, oh, as a publicity manager, I did this, and also include the impact that you did. Oh, I grew the community by 100%, I grew the community by 25%, or I engaged a community of young people to drive this and that. Then you can also include media to show example of your work. So if you say in your particular society, you hold info sessions or webinars, and you have pictures of webinars of times where you were holding webinars, you can include media to show examples of your work. And it says here that members with up-to-date positions receive 5 times more connection requests, 8 times more profile views, and 10 times more messages. So be sure to always include positions as you get them. As you do on your CV, also do on your LinkedIn profile. And sometimes your CV, because your CV has to just stay to one page, it may not contain all the important details. So including it on your LinkedIn would capture everything that you've done. So when a recruiter clicks on your LinkedIn profile to view, it will let the recruiter know more about you and know the other roles that you've done that are not on your CV. Then for your education, include your education qualifications and institutions. Then academies like TalentMine, like the previous speaker mentioned, can include academies like TalentMine, can include academies like EduBridge Academy, and any other academies or institutions that you've gotten an education qualification from. Then also certifications that you get from online courses or workshops, for example, LinkedIn Learning. So any course that you take on LinkedIn Learning automatically gets updated on your profile. So Coursera, Udemy, read.co.uk, any of them at all, you should always include certifications to your profile. Then volunteer experiences also, include the volunteer activities that you've been engaged in. And you can also summarize what you did in these roles and include any media that you have. Then skill and endorsements. So profiles with more than 5 skills get 17 times more profile views. And you may not know this, but the skills you add to your profile improves or play a role in your searchability. So sometimes you receive notification that you appeared in 1,000 searches. Your skills play a big role in that, and there are keywords that make you come out in these searches. And when you include skills, don't just include it, get people to also endorse you on these skills. So if you look at the image I have on my screen, you'll see that more than 99 people have endorsed this person, and across he has endorsements for all the skills the person listed on their profile. You can also endorse people's skills too. For recommendations, get recommendations, and getting recommendations increases your credibility and it makes you more authentic. So if you say, oh, you've worked in this particular role and you did this, and you actually get recommendation from somebody that you worked with or somebody that managed you in that role, it increases your credibility a lot and makes you come across as authentic. So you can get recommendations from current or former managers, colleagues, teammates, those that mentored you professionally, your professors and friends. So anybody at all that can give recommendations, you can ask them for it. And it's also important that you review recommendations before you add it to your CV, because I have received recommendations before that has to be revised because of grammatical errors. So you can always review your recommendations before adding it to your profile. So,
for me, hello for me.
yes.
Yeah, please try to. Time is fast spent. You try to wrap up. Thank you.
Okay, for accomplishments, you can also add accomplishments to your profile and include awards or languages, anything at all that can come under accomplishments. So things to avoid: misrepresentation, like I mentioned before. Do not lie on your CV, and you can also customize your URL. So avoid URL with numbers. So moving on, what can you do on LinkedIn? You can message connections, ask for informational interviews. So if you have particular career interests that you do not know so much about, reach out to people on LinkedIn. The former speaker said people are always willing to help. It all depends on your approach. So when you're asking, don't just ask somebody, oh, I've received a message on LinkedIn, please refer me for a job. I don't even know what career and what kind of jobs you're interested in. You did not say anything like, hi, hello, how are you doing? So it all depends on your approach. But depending on your approach, people would always be receptive and willing to help. Then you can also request for referrals. You can add value and engage. You can search for jobs, internships, and you can also follow companies that you want to work for, and also join groups. So if you see any group that is in the industry that you're interested in, join these groups too. Then explore alumni. Exploring alumni cannot be overemphasized, because what the value that you can get from an alumni, you might not get it from just anybody. So explore your alumni network. My time is fast spent, but I would have loved to go over all of this. I don't know if I can share. Okay, well, I will see if I can share my slides, but if you have any questions for me, try to ask, and I'll try to answer as much as I can. Thank you for having me. Yeah, totally.
Thank you so much for me. I've learned a lot. There are ways to actually optimize your LinkedIn and how visible LinkedIn will make you be, and how your LinkedIn profile can actually speak more for you than your CV or your resume. Well, we'll be having some questions for Fumi right now. I want to be the first person to ask question. Although I have a question here already for Fumi, but I want to be the first to ask question. So, Fumi, what advice will you have for people that have really climbed up the ladder and they think, yeah, apart from this particular job they are doing, there's no other bigger this thing they can get to? Are there other opportunities for them when they actually put their brand there on LinkedIn and other social media platforms? Because I know of CEOs who have actually branded themselves on LinkedIn and getting more visible, and they are getting more opportunities, national and international opportunities. So what advice do you have for people? Is that when you get to a particular stage, you do not need to brand yourself again?
Well, thank you for the question, Tolu. So I would say that personal branding doesn't stop when you get to the top. You will see that some of these people that are already at the top, like you said, you can collaborate with other people. You can host sessions. You can speak to young people. You can do a lot of things when you get to the top. So I follow some of these people online on LinkedIn, like Dikwa Wojide. I don't know if you know him, but he's the owner of BTDT Hub. So when you get to the top, your personal branding doesn't end. You are to continue to strive and brand yourself, make more impact. If you don't know what to do, if you think that you've gotten to the pinnacle of a career, collaborate with other people and make impact. When you make impact, you'll be surprised at how many people would feel inspired by you or would nominate you whenever you're not even in the room. So if you think you've gotten to the pinnacle of a career, please collaborate and help impact people. Do something to help others that push put forward the impact that you've gotten, the level that you've gotten to others that are willing to get there also.
All right, thank you for me. I have another question here from someone in the chat room. It said,
Okay.
how does one avoid telling lies in personal branding in the bid to package yourself? So how do you avoid telling lies?
All right, so to avoid telling lies, I would say that you should not say what you're not. So if you were a team lead, if you're a team member in a particular organization, do not say you're a team lead just to come across as someone that has leadership skill. I mean, you can portray leadership skill even without being a team lead. So you should not, as much as possible, don't try to say what you're not. It might be tempting to do so, but please and please avoid lying. If you are not sure of the impact, maybe you're trying to quantify your impact, but you're not sure, ask people that you worked with to help you with an estimate. So if you think, oh, if I put 50% as an estimate, it will be going overboard. So if you think so, ask somebody that you worked with and hear their own opinions too. Yeah, so that would help you avoid lying on your CV, lying with your personal brand.
All right, thank you for me. Someone was asking for your LinkedIn profile name. So our profile name is Fumilayo Oyekome. Fumilayo Oyekome. Yeah.
I would share my LinkedIn link now in the group, on the chat box, so that anybody that wants to follow me can do so.
All right. So for those asking for the material she shared, she's going to send us a copy and it will be sent to your email address directly. So for everyone who registered, you're going to get the materials in your email. So if you do not register, you can reach out to me, to Lokwe Fasanya on LinkedIn, and you will definitely get the materials. So if there are other questions, let's ask Fumi now before she leaves. All right, in the absence of questions, Fumi, we appreciate you a lot. Thanks, it's been insightful, it's been enlightening. I have been seeing comments, people saying that they are going to update their LinkedIn and they are going to start their personal branding journey. So thanks a lot.
Hello, Tolu Fasanya, please, can you give an audience to Joseph Adebayo? Want to ask a question?
Okay. Can we have Mr. Joseph Adebayo to ask this question? All right.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Please, can you put on your video, please? Yes, maybe the audio should just do if the video is not necessary. Hello, sir.
Okay, you can ask your question.
All right, Ms. Fumi, that was very insightful. Thank you very much for the session. I really enjoyed it. Okay, my question is this: what if you're having different skill sets and you wish to focus on one? Maybe you've been on one and you need to switch down to using one of your skill sets. How do you do such branding without people looking at you as though, oh, you're more prominent in this and not what you actually want to do for now? Maybe you want to build a career along a different path, for example, but you have been on a path before and you don't want maybe people seeing you as maybe what you used to be. You want them to begin to view you maybe along the new path. So what do you do? How do you do such a branding?
Okay, thank you for the question, Joseph. So I think the first thing that you need to do is like develop a roadmap for yourself. When you, there's so many things that can be in the roadmap. So if you, for example, you want to develop a career in consulting, some of the things that can be on your roadmap can be reaching out to professionals, posting content from consulting books you've read, engaging in groups or communities that are consulting focused, and attending workshops. And having a farmer or having a current brand does not change even when you're trying to build a new brand for yourself. You just need to maybe focus your attention away from the brand that you were known with, and begin to intentionally work on the new brand you want to portray for yourself. So I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, but when you begin to build that brand and you begin to engage with people, follow people, and even comment on their posts, there is a way that the attention will just shift. Does that answer your question?
Thank you very much. I really like that.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much. Yeah, there's another question for Fumi. The question says, is it advisable to have a paid LinkedIn account before you can be seen by top employers?
Okay, so for that question, I would say that it's not compulsory to have a paid LinkedIn premium before you can optimize LinkedIn. Most of the time, people that even have LinkedIn premium do not know how to maximize the upgraded version, and so you just end up wasting your money. So I would say that for now, try as much as possible to optimize the free LinkedIn, and the free LinkedIn can also get you noticed by employers. Premium or no premium does not play a role in increasing your visibility online. It just gives you some edge that you can view other people's profile, even the ones that put it on private mode and some other things like that. But even with the free LinkedIn app, you can do so much. Without the premium. So you do not have to use the premium before you can get noticed by top employers.
Thank you so much. A follow-up question, how effective are LinkedIn courses and programs?
Okay, so LinkedIn courses and programs, well, some of them equip you with soft skills, while I think some of them are technical. Like I came across an SEO course on LinkedIn, and the skills you get from them are really helpful, especially the one that equip you with hard skills. So some of the things that you learn from them, from LinkedIn Learning, can also contribute to your professional development, and can also add to your personal branding. So I would say that you should go for it. And not just LinkedIn Learning, there are other online courses that you can take also, and certification that you can get.
All right. So the same person is asking, are those questions really recognized by corporate bodies? I mean, corporate organizations. Are they recognized?
I don't get the question. Are they really?
The LinkedIn courses. Yeah.
Oh, so you some of the certifications may add to your skill set. So the thing is, the skills you get from these online courses can play a big role in your qualification. So if they say I need someone that has a skill in Adobe something or Adobe design, and you got it from an online course that you took, and you have it on your profile, then it definitely would help you get that job, help you get the projects or whatever it is. So online courses, LinkedIn courses that equip you with hard and soft skills can get recognized by corporate organizations. And even when you get to your interviews, I came across a question in an interview recently that they said, what skill or program did you have to take that was not related to your schoolwork, and how did you add to your professional development? I could definitely mention one of the skills that I took online that added to my professional development. It doesn't have to be just school. So yes, they get recognized by corporate organizations.
Okay. So there's a question here. I learned that there are ways people upgrade to premium accounts without really paying, and besides, how do we optimize our LinkedIn profile? I'm already on All-Star. This person is already on All-Star, and he wants to upgrade to premium account without paying. What do you advise?
So you can't upgrade to premium without paying. Well, you get 1 month free, but after the 1 month, you begin to pay a particular sum to every month for your LinkedIn premium account. And if you have an already All-Star account, that's great. You can start following people that following LinkedIn influencers or LinkedIn personalities that post inspirational content or things that you can learn from. Like I follow quite a number of people that I learned from, learn so many things from: networking strategies, cover letters, CVs, how to network, how to build an online presence, and all those things that will add to your knowledge. Even how to build your LinkedIn, how to build your algorithms on LinkedIn and social media, other social media accounts. I follow people that post about these things on a regular. So if you already have an all-star, please follow people that you would definitely learn from and also add value and engage. So I couldn't go over the things that you can do on LinkedIn. I only went over how to build a LinkedIn profile, but there are so many things I can do on LinkedIn. Join groups, explore your alumni network, add value and engage, publish articles, and do so many things. I mean, LinkedIn is a platform where you can grow and add value and make impacts, really.
Thank you, Fumi. There is a last question here. I won't be taking other questions so that the third speaker can come on. But this question, I just want you to give a yes or no answer. Then Wahab will do justice to that question. Wahab and Kayode, the next speaker, will be doing justice to them. Okay, the question is about switching career paths. So this person wants to know if he should use BSc or diploma degree to portray himself, to brand himself on LinkedIn. Is it BSc or diploma or LinkedIn courses? So just like 2 sentences so that we can switch.
You do not need your degree to switch career paths. That's the first thing I would say. I currently study law, but I don't think I want to pursue a career in law. I'm focusing solely on consulting. So you do not need your degree to switch career paths. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you so much. Wahab will still have to answer that question again. And Kayode, thanks for your time, Fumi. We really appreciate this a lot. So if you'll still be with us till the end of the program, you might still need to take more questions. Thank you, Fumi.
Yes,
yeah, I hope people are enjoying this already. We have the third speaker will be coming on board. Kayode Olatunji helps businesses and companies make sense of the large amount of data by developing BI solutions to make business processes more efficient and to enable them make better informed decisions. It bridges the gap between data analysis and actionable insights using Microsoft Power BI, Microsoft Excel, SQL Server 2016, Python, and Anaconda. He is highly motivated and detailed-oriented data analyst, experienced in transformation, analyzing and reconciling of data obtained from a variety of sources in order to drive successful business or solutions. He has excellent understanding of different analytical framework for various data operations. He furnishes insights, analytics, and business intelligence needed to guide business decisions. He's passionate about leveraging data to drive businesses and product decisions. Yeah, so that is Kayode Olatunji's profile. Can we have Kayode Olatunji on board? Do we have Kayode here? Do we have Kayode here? Galadima, please unmute Kayode and put him on video. Unmute Kayode and put him on video. Kayode Olatunji.
Kayode, okay, he should unmute his video by himself.
What did you just say?
Yeah. Hello, Tolu.
Hello.
Hello, Kayode.
Please, can you unmute your video, Mr. Kayode?
I've done that.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Kayode will be speaking about skills, acquiring skills, a breakthrough. He's going to be talking more. People who want to switch career can also learn from this session. So Kayode, can you start, please? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tolu. Thank you, Fumi, for that great session. I really do learn a few things, and some few things were ingrained that I currently make use of. Great session. Yeah, I will be speaking on skills acquisition and the skill acquisition process itself, and how you can better just reposition yourself in times like this. I will try to be as concise as I can, and also to be able to capture a few things that I have here. If I can, I would like to share my screen so I can just kickstart. Okay. Can I be granted access to share my screen? It seems I'm not.
Galadima, please grant him access.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So I'll be working majorly with this slide here. And the first, I would work based on this workflow. I will start with the importance of the skill acquisition, the kinds of skill you can learn to better position yourself, and the relevant and emerging skills, ways of acquiring these skills, strategies for faster and smoother learning experience, the role, practice, and application actually play in the process of acquisition, and also some tidbits, some things to note. So before I comment, I know our audience probably consists of undergraduates, graduates, employed, unemployed, people willing to probably switch careers, and what this COVID time also, the pandemic opened our eyes to sinners that has been there, but we didn't really pay attention to. But now it seems it brought out some aspects and some things that we need to actually focus on. So I'll quickly switch to my first point. So I can't really overemphasize in times like this the need to actually pick up skills and actually track a roadmap on a change in one's career. So it is what has really differentiated, actually set out people who actually got employed from those who are still finding their way in what organizations and businesses look out for. Now you can actually deliver value and how you can actually help the business in really putting the business, placing them in a better strategic positions. So how you better apply your skills, it's very, very urgent. And I also like to say before I continue that it doesn't matter what your background is in terms of what you study. One of the speakers, I don't know if it was Wahab or Evangelist Jajola, mentioned something. I think it was Wahab. It doesn't matter what your background. Actually, your background can be an advantage. I don't know if it was Wahab. I can actually switch to something entirely different if you are curious and you are really ready to actually background can be different if you are due diligence. Take up the courses, draft a roadmap, and make sure you see it through. So your background wouldn't be a limitation. It shouldn't be a setback. You can always cover up if you are willing. If you are willing. So I would like to start by focusing on just two types of skills for now before I go on to the emerging skills that we have trained in nowadays and things that we can equip ourselves with. It's no news that in looking at the skills that we have, in looking at the skills that we have, we tend to have two kinds of forms or kinds of skills, and it's either you focus more on the technical and you probably neglect the soft skills. Majority of what I get to notice is that we tend to want to look at the technical or the art skills and tend to just put the soft skills on the sidelines. The thing is that while we are honing our skills owning our hard skills, it is also very pertinent for us to also take care of the soft skills. Even sometimes, while you're climbing up the ladder, the top managers will tell you that what set them out and what actually increased their decision success rate is majorly uh, their acquisition of soft skills, and we are going to cover that. So hard skills majorly is just your technical skills that we have. Your if you are into the data world, probably you're a data analyst, what you can do in terms of your data cleansing. If you are an accountant, how you reconcile your your balance sheet and the likes, your credit account and the likes. So it's just the technical skills, and we're still going to delve into that. Why the soft skills is majorly skills that relate to how you relate with people, your time management, your communication skills, your relationship management, people skills, and emotional intelligence. We are still going to delve deep into that. So it's virtually how you relate more and collaborate more with people. It's one of the major things that organizations are actually paying attention to right now. If you possess the right technical skills and you find it hard to communicate, you find it hard to collaborate with people in your team, then it will not be, it will be a stumbling block. It will not be it won't go well in the team. So let me just quickly move to the next slide. So I would focus firstly on mainly on the soft skills first, because I currently noticed also that it is one of those points whereby you get to actually pay attention to. You notice it is not so much about how well you can flaunt your technical skills, but how well also you can be intuitive about it. So the first one here is your analytic thinking and innovation skills. So how can you use logic in solving our business problems? How can you use your logical reasoning to say this is this? I mean, the good part of this is that all these soft skills are not just majorly inbuilt. Some people see themselves as probably, oh, this is actually not for me. I'm not really designed this way. All can be earned. All these skills here can be, they are learned skills. You can pick them up while you learn it, you put it into practice. So for analytical thinking and innovations, so you get to, apart from the skills, so you get to see how can I actually
Hello, Galadima. What's going on, please? Hello? Hello, Kaide is no longer on video. Please, what happened to his screen? Galadima?
I think he's having a network issue from his
Okay, you will
side.
come online soon.
He's back now for this video. I'm coming. Okay, Mr. Kayode, you can unmute yourself, please. I think he's having network issue.
Hello, Kaide. Hello, Kaide.
I think, can I put a call to him, please?
Okay. Is Wahab there? Hello, Wahab. Wahab. Do we have Wahab here?
Wahab is still online.
Okay. What about Fumi? Is she still there? All right, while we wait for Kayode, basically, some of the things is trying to tell us or pass across to us um, is our ability to have two sets of skills, the hard skills, which are the technicals, and the soft skills. I believe Wahab mentioned networking the other time. This is one of the soft skills we should have. This is one of the soft skills that helps people in the place in workplace. Yeah, we have we is going to focus on the art skills too. Art skills is one of the ways to switch career, and Kayode, as a person that I know, has built himself in this particular skills as a data analytics for over 2 3 years now, and this is what sets him apart in his place of work. So he will soon be online. I am sure he's trying to get his network back. Yeah, he's going to do that soon, and he will join also. For those that have been asking about career switching, you want to switch your career, some of the things you can do is to look for that skill that interests you. When you have that skill that interests you, you start by learning from people who have the skills, go doing your online study, the courses and the rest. Then you move from the A to Z of the particular skills, and while learning you put yourself out there on LinkedIn and on other social media, branding yourself, making people to know that you're already switching, you're already moving, you're already learning. And by the time you're doing this, learning the skills, you continue to upgrade. And it is not just enough to learn the skills. You look for a good organization to actually practice with. Sometimes you may not get an entry level job immediately. You might need to apply for internship. You might need to volunteer for jobs. This will help recruiters to know that you have the practical experience of the skills you're learning, and this will help you to switch your career from whatever career you have been to the one you're focusing on. So yeah, that is what we have. Okay, Kayode will soon join us. Um, so having going for a particular soft skills, I know people who are already training themselves in digital marketing. There are Udemy courses, there are courses you can do online, there are free courses you can do online, there are those that you actually have to pay. You see, the journey of moving from one career to the other, it's not a child's play. You have to start as early as possible, and you have to take it step by step, and you have to be very intensive about it. It is not getting a job or switching career is not very easy, and it's not that easy, especially in our Nigeria economy. So what we need to do is to intensify our study, to intensify our learning. And while doing that, you can also take professional courses in line, like someone who is not doing anything accounting. I know people in managerial courses, big organizations, who are accountants or the accounting manager in those firms. What they do is they take ICANN courses. They start with ICANN. So when you start with ICANN, especially if you're a graduate, you'll be allowed, no matter your previous field. So far you're a graduate, you'll be able to do ICANN courses. And if you want to be a stockbroker, you can write exams for CIS, Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers. We have CFA and other things. Is it financial modeling? You can do financial modeling courses. These are the things that will set you apart when you're applying for jobs and when recruiters are seeing what you want to do. So again, going back to the soft skills kind of talked about, for those that are already in their various field doing well, one way to quickly climb the ladder is networking and being humble. There was a time that Evangelist Tunde Jayala shared with me how important networking is at a place of work. No matter how hardworking you are at your place, no matter how hardworking you set goals for yourself, you put in extra time. Like I was in a webinar last Saturday, and this was the same thing that the lady spoke about, Yinka. She talked, Biola rather, she talked about these things. She said her boss told her, yeah, you're hardworking, but when I spoke up for you at the board meeting, nobody was seeing you. I was the only one who knew you. So there was nothing you could do about it. You make yourself visible by networking, not just the personal branding or social media. While at your place of work, you speak with people, you speak with your bosses. There's nothing to be shy about, there's nothing to be scared of. In fact, the managers want you to speak with them, but some of us, or many people, are just skeptical about it. How would they see me? What would they say? You just need to learn how to relate with people, irrespective of their position. Irrespective of their position, you network with them, you build that relationship with them. While they are saying you're being hard work, you're putting it forth to them. Okay, these are the things I've done, these are the things I'm doing, and these are the things I'm capable of doing. And with these things, yeah, I'm talking about those that are doing well at their place of work. So this is how to move up the ladder quickly. This is how to move up the ladder quickly. So you let them know what you're doing. This is one soft skill for me that is very, very important. That is very, very important. That is very, very important. So okay, so we're going to be unmuting people now. Want to take feedbacks, what they have learned so far, and what they still want to learn, what they are expecting of Kayode before he comes online. So Galadima, can you please unmute people? And for you to come up to ask questions or to talk, you have to raise your hand. There is if you navigate through your tools very well, you can actually raise your hand. You can raise your hand. So Galadima, please unmute people. Hello, Galadima. Please unmute everyone. Yeah, unmute.
No, we can't unmute everybody because of interference. So
Okay, yes.
everybody that wants to talk
Yes,
should
yeah,
raise their
I
hands
guess
up.
so.
So we'll do
So
that.
if anyone have feedback, you can actually raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Can you get in touch with Wahab so that people can ask him questions?
Yes, I'm about to do that. Can we have Evangelist Jayola on board to engage people? Hello, can we have Evangelist Tunde Jayola?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So, if you have questions, comments, you can go ahead as we wait for Kayode. And Wahab is also online. Thanks a lot, Wahab, for the insightful messages you give to us. I believe that the people will do well taking all this. Galadima, unmute. I guess you've unmuted everyone so that Pastor Awe can come online as well. So if you have a question, unmute yourself and ask the question. And either of the three of us or hello. So, Galadima, I don't know if you got the point that I made last, that you can unmute Pastor.
Yes,
Awe.
I've done that. You can do that on that side.
Okay, all right. So if you have a question, please raise your hand or just go ahead with your questions or comments.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, my name is Oluwadamilare Salami, and I want
You're
to
welcome, sir.
thank the EFI team for this eye opener. It's indeed an eye opener, especially the team, person of Evangelist Jayola, Tolu, and Pastor Awe. you guys and others. You guys are doing a great job. But I'd like to ask a few questions. Firstly, talking about switching career paths. Of course, we have talked about making yourself available on the social media, following people that you think are doing what you like to do and pursuing online career in that path. But beyond that, beyond putting all that together, considering the time that has been invested in the previous career, do we think that it's very, very key not to get not to get trained, if you understand what I mean? Trained in the sense that maybe getting physical training apart from the online courses and all that were prescribed. That is my first question. And then secondly,
sorry, say that again. I didn't get that part.
Okay, I said
what did you say about training?
I said beyond going for online courses in the career, considering the number of years one has invested in the previous career that you intend to switch from, do you think it's not important to get a physical training, like learning to toe the line physically instead of just going through online path? That is my first question. My second question is regarding our fresh graduates who are seeking to get job. I want to ask if there are provisions for mentorship, like opportunity for them to hook up to someone they can see physically, not someone that they can talk to far away, like someone close to them that they can see, they can always relate with at all, so that they will be able to learn the ropes from that person, especially those on their career path. Those are my questions.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir.
Joseph Adebayo, go ahead. Hello, Joseph.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, EFI. I really want to appreciate every one of you for this wonderful program. I want to believe that if such a program has been on ground for a very long time, so many of us might not have fallen into the pits where we have fallen. And I think things would have been better. All the same, I really want to appreciate you all for the job well done. Pastor Awe, Evangelist Jayola, Sister Tolufa Sonya. More grace, more power to your elbow. Now, this is my question. My question is a sort of an eye-opener.
Hello, Joseph. Okay.
Hello.
All right, go on. Okay.
Yes, my question is a sort of an eye-opener. I said my question is a sort of an eye-opener because I want to draw from a personal experience. Now, in leveraging on maybe, let's say, your most important skill set while going for an interview.
Hello, sorry, please.
Hello.
After,
are you listening?
Yeah, hello?
Hello.
Yeah, please. After Evangelist Jayola's response, Wahab is on here, is going to be taking questions. So anyone that has questions for Wahab should please prepare to ask him questions now. Wahab is here with us. Thank you. So please, Evangelist Jayola will answer your question, then Wahab will start taking questions.
Okay. So
okay,
thank
go on,
you.
Joseph.
All right, sir. So my question is this. How do you leverage on your most important skill set, which is important to a job you are putting in for, let's say for an interview? Because something happened to me some times ago. I had passed every other level for a job interview, but when it came down to the final phase, I actually failed based on my strongest points because I felt I didn't know, I wasn't prepared. The interview came to me like they just told me at a dying minute. So I couldn't I didn't know what I should do at that point. And what I did was this, okay, they knew that one of my strongest points was the French language, which I could speak fluently. And so asking me questions bordering around that, I think I mentioned something about my wish to actually travel out sometimes. And I think that was where I failed. So what should we do? Maybe, or how do we leverage on our most important skill sets to achieve our desired job, maybe during an interview?
Okay, thank you. I can see Peter Adebayo's hand. I don't know if we can take that. My idea is to ask Wahab to take some of the questions, because sure that he would be able to give us some insight into them. Probably let's take Peter as the last one, and after that we switch back to Kayode. So Peter, go ahead.
All right, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I give kudos to the organizers, hosts, and all members who are actually online. I will first want to just give an affirmation to one of Mr. Wahab's points. We said we should actually leverage on our colleagues and our friends, or more or less, let me say, we should try to network with our friends first. I'm actually a benefactor of that. I think my first job I got through friends' recommendation. So even if at all we said we want that big up careers we actually been looking out for, we need to first, those we have amidst us are those who actually give us a recommendation. They are the ones that they've actually seen our words, and they are the ones that will push it outside. So that's just an affirmation to that. My question now goes thus, sir. On towards building up these our careers. Fine, I believe every one of us are actually still doing something presently, and we are still actually aiming to that part, that phase where we've actually aimed hard. This is where I want to be in the next 2 to 5 years. This is the core prime of my career where I'm actually aiming to. My question now goes to, sir, even while we are still aiming at such, and we see some jobs, or we see some, let me use the word petty, some still minor things to do. Because I've seen many of our youths been failing in this aspect. And that's why I really want to treat it as a question. In the sense that, you actually want to be a chief accountant, or, and you are yet to go for your ICANN classes, but you still see a mini job at a supermarket where you said you can still be doing taking stocks, but because you say you are having, I can't, this is where I'm going. Should the person leave that and keep trying to until I get that big job? That is my first question. Then number 2 question, in career switching, well, I want to use mine as an example. I studied statistics, but all the jobs I've actually been doing, this is my 3rd job after NYC, let me say NYC, and all my jobs are all IT related. None is even statistics related. I can see Mr. Kayode is one that is actually in the line of, that is if I want to practice my statistics. That was what I would have been a data analysis, So I'm just using mine as an example. So my question is, even though you studied, let me, for example, you studied CRK, and the job waiting for you out there, sir, is being a PA, Now you are now telling me you want to switch. Will you now go to school to go and now study administration, sir? Online course or physical training, which is the perfect one to do so?
Okay, thank you. Sorry, moderator, that I'm trying to moderate, but I took some of the questions while you were away, so I'll just go ahead with them. Pastor Awe, I'd like you to take the last question, which is
okay. After Pastor Awe, Wahab is also here.
Yes,
Wahab can answer that question.
Yes. So the first question is, okay, if with all the discussion about soft skills and all that, is it necessary to have physical training as part of career switch? And I think that the last question is, okay, how do you switch? I think Pastor Aware and Wahab can take that together. The next one, which I think Wahab should take, is how to leverage the most important skill sets that you have. That question also came up from Joseph Adebayo. The third question is, should people settle for less? So you have a medical doctor, is unable to get a job as a medical doctor. Can he, for instance, settle for PA to someone while he's searching for his dream job? So this is the third question. The final question is provisions for mentorship. I will take this, and Pastor Aware and Wahab can take the remaining three questions. So just to answer your point about mentorship, I'll start by saying that even though I have worked for 13 years, I have at least one coach and I have one mentor, at least, okay, in my career line. Okay, sorry, he's asking me to start video. Okay, so I have one coach and I have one mentor in my career line after 13 years. And I strongly believe that there is hardly anyone. And the last time I said even Pastor Adeboye has a father that he runs to, not necessarily for money, but look, you always have issues that you need someone else's opinion, okay? Or he has a circle of friends that it's with. So when it comes to mentorship, the individual needs to take the bull by the horn. The Yorubas have this saying that you can, or maybe it's an English, I don't know, you can force the horse to the river, but you cannot force it. So I personally Hello, can you mute yourself if you are not speaking? Okay, so my personal view is your mentorship or your mentoring or coaching is your personal responsibility. You need to decide, of course, in some companies, people are matched with people, okay? Because the company has a clear reason to do that, to say, we want to train this particular person to be an HR professional, so they match you with an HR mentor or coach. But in the business world, you need to look out and say, okay, I think that this person is in the line of what I want to do, and you need to approach that person for mentorship or for coaching. I think that Bill Gates also takes a lot of learning from Warren Buffett, even though he's richer than Warren Buffett. So there are mentors in the church, a lot. And I'm sure that even our speakers today will not mind taking up mentorship or coaching for some of the people. So please, if you think you need mentorship or coaching, take the bull by the horn, approach the people. If you approach me, for instance, and I think I'm not the right person for you, I will find you the right person and get you to the right person. But you need to take the initiative by trying to find a mentor. Because if the mentor, there's a Chinese proverb that says that do not offer your advice when it is not solicited for. I follow this, okay? I follow this because of my personal experience. So I don't go about trying to force people to follow this way or follow that way. If you see the need, you will ask for it. And when you ask for it, you will get the full dose of it. But ask. Even the Bible says, ask and you shall be given, okay? This is my view. So I will ask Pastor Aware and Wahab to take the three other questions.
Please, I want Wahab to go first. Time is running and he has an engagement somewhere else. So Wahab, please let's have you on video and please help answer the question. Is Wahab there?
Hi, Tolu.
Hi, Wahab.
Sorry, I told you I was going out, so I'm basically just preparing for where I'm going to. So I would love for you to just help me summarize the question so that I would take it.
Okay. Bro Peter, please summarize the question for us. Is Bro Peter there?
Hello, can you hear me? I'll summarize the question.
Yes, I can
so
hear
the
you,
first
sir.
question is, we talked about switching, career switch. And then we spoke about soft online trainings and all that. So one of the questions that is being asked is that, isn't physical training needed? And I think that you can link that question to the second question that someone asked, that how do you actually switch? So if how do you switch from being a doctor to being a PA to someone?
So I would share my experience, right? I feel like the question has somewhat answered itself, right? Switching to a new career can be very daunting. It can be very tough, really, because I mean, I can say it easily because I started my own career as an investment banking analyst before I moved to research. At the end of the day, I'm still in the finance industry, so I've not really made any kind of switch, before in my career. But one of the few things I know is that I think going back to school, I mean, I typically don't like to advise people to go back to school because, first of all, by the time you are done coming back, you know how Nigerian companies are these days. Beyond the fact that they will tell you we need a benchmark of 2-1 or first class, they will now tell you that you cannot be beyond 24, 25, 26 years. That would basically have, somewhat neuter you out of the criteria, right? So I like it when candidates are a lot more younger and they understand where they are going to and they understand what they really want to do with their life, right? So rather than going back to school, I'll just suggest that people should try to look for some online courses that would help them easily transition to what they are looking to do. For instance, I know quite a number of people that had read medicine, engineering in their first degree, and now they are working full-time in the finance industry. In fact, I had studied economics from the university, and I now found out later that those guys from science background are now even actually doing a lot better than people like us that we have economics background. You understand? So it just basically depends on the kind of training that you have gone through, just to try to do that sort of transition. For instance, I know quite a number of training opportunity for modeling for people who are interested in switching into finance industry. The Browns Consulting is with them. I mean, I've done quite a number of engagements with them. Talent Mind, like I said, EduBridge, for instance, is also another platform where no matter what your background is, they will try to train you and remodel you to suit the finance industry. So I think it's just basically better for one to look for online opportunities for training that would help you easily transition. I think that would best answer that sort of question, whether or not you should go back to school. But if it is you moving from economics to medicine, then I don't see you having any opportunity for any other option for to move back to school, because I think you have to get the background of chemistry, physics, and whatnot, right? So I don't think economics to medicine is that easy to transition, but medicine to finance or economics is a lot more easier. It's a lot easier than vice versa, right? So if you are looking at switching whatever you are doing to finance industry, I think that there are massive opportunity for you. The opportunity is en masse, right? There are massive training opportunities around you that you can obviously tap on that would help you, easily transition. That's basically the way I think about it.
Can I come in, please?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Wahab.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, Wahab, for your submission. Again, let me also say that if for career lines that are closely related, it is a lot more easier. For example, I moved from teaching, to HR, and it was difficult a bit for me, but I've already done a bit of underground work. I've taken some courses that will have acquired some soft skill that will also assist me, to fit into whatever role. I studied economics as well at master's level, and I did quite a number of years in teaching, and I said it's high time I must, move on. And so HR was my first, my next, level of career. And all I did was, because HR is closely related, as a social science, I did a lot of online courses. I did certification courses, and that was just it. So it was a lot easier for me. I did a lot of research, a lot of reading. It's a matter of hard work, and I had to read and read and read and read and read. And it was quite easy for me to transition, from education, from teaching to be specific to HR, and on and on and on. And every other, sector or every other industry where I've worked, it's also been easy for me because I always ensure that I acquire the needed skill, for that particular job, and that enables me to fit in. If you throw me into production, I will fit in very well, because while I was also on the job, whatever job you find yourself, don't limit yourself to what you do alone. I got my eyes into every department where I have worked, every department, and today I end up in the food industry, FMCG, and I must say that in the specific industry where I operate, I'm a voice. I'm a voice, because I when I speak, people listen, like I said, I got my eyes into everything, the factory, I'll go into the factory, I'll see what the guys are doing, I'll go online and read, when it comes to sales, my COO then, it's also important people you work with, people who are ready to push you, and when you are pushed, to get yourself moving as well. So my CEO will say to me, Yomi, go to Kaduna, go to Bini, go and see what is happening. And I will go into, I got myself into sales, and at a point in time, he was contemplating making me the national sales manager and what have you. So get yourself, the right skill that you need. And if, like you said, if the career path is all related, then you have to find yourself in a class. I have a friend who read zoology and he wanted to become a doctor. So he had to go back, write JAM again, got himself into the college school, and today he's a medical doctor. So if those career paths are closely related, it's a lot more easy for you to switch by taking some online courses, reading and all that. But if they are miles apart, if you're switching from, take for example, social sciences into medicine or into pharmacy, there's no two ways about it. You would have to find yourself in a classroom.
Okay, thanks a lot, sir. The next question is how to leverage the most important skill set. How can an individual can leverage his most important skill set? And probably you can take that along with, can people settle for less on their path to getting to their El Dorado?
Well, it all depends on your goal set. It all depends on your target. Every individual, of course, have their mindset. They have their goals. The day you stop learning is the day the oxygen is completely out of you. You have to keep improving your skill on day-to-day basis, either through your job, you learn on the job, or you keep searching or looking out for the next skill, that is in vogue. Every day, people develop new skills, people come up with new ideas, better ways of doing things. And you have to see how this is related, to what you do. So for every field of endeavor, there are new skills that are being, developed by researchers, people who dedicate their time to researching into how to get jobs being done better. And for whatever skill you acquired, it's about knowing how to do your job better. the world is a global village, so everybody is aware of the new skill in town. So people will ask if you have the skill. If you possess the skill, it puts you in a vantage position. And so people must be ready to commit their resources. They must be ready to commit their time into learning what is new. They must be ready to commit their time into enhancing, their skill. And that's what puts you, like I said, in an advantage position. Well, I've just said it. I mean, you have people from Ivy League, colleges, people from MIT, people from Harvard, and what have you, coming back home to compete with you on the same platform, on the same field. And so for you to outwit this individual, then you must have you must have the skill which they have, either on an equal basis or something very close to it, for you to be given the job. And I must also say this, I've worked in an organization where my MD would prefer, someone with a foreign degree. Way back then, that was some 12 years, 13 years ago. He would prefer someone with a foreign degree to someone with a local degree. And he would pay the guys with foreign degree better, because he feels they have a better, skill. But that's not the case now. I mean, thank God for internet, so you can study online, you can acquire these degrees, you can take online certification courses, and also arm yourself, with this qualification so that you can compete better. So always, get to improve your skill on day-to-day basis. Keep yourself, acquainted with what's it. Thank you.
Pastor, thank you, Pastor Awe. To add to that, I have a mentor who actually did his MSc in one of the universities abroad online while he's in Nigeria. So he acquired that degree this year, and I just chatted him up. What happened? You are still working, you are still doing your thing. So how did you get this MSc without leaving the country? And he told me he did everything via online. So Kayode is here with us. In fact, he said he didn't know he was off. He said he didn't know he was off the call, so he's going to quickly come on and do what he's supposed to do. He's not going to take our time. So let's say in the next 20 minutes, before 2 p.m., we are done with this conference. Please bear with us if we have taken your time. Kayode is here to deliver. All right. Galadima, please put Kayode on. Let's have Kayode now.
Hi,
all right, you're welcome back.
Yeah, thank you very much. Breaking transmission. My network is a bit bad. Can you go right? Okay. It's quite very, 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 very possible for you to actually, in times like this, skills acquisition has been made very, very affordable. It has been made in times like this. It's something you can easily get at the tip of your fingertip. Now it now bemoans for you to actually focus more on how you can your own due diligence, in that it is unlike initially whereby it was hard switching careers, but now there are some skills you can actually leverage on, whereby if you are able to acquire such skills, you can better place yourself. So I will quickly run through my slide since I've already taken the time. So I would be concise and not overshoot the time this time around. So permit me to share my screen. Just
allow him share his screen, okay?
I have permission already. Thanks, Galadima. Okay, so the content I will quickly run through. I was actually presenting the other time. I didn't know my connection was up. So I would talk about the importance of skill acquisition, kinds of skill, relevant and emerging skills, ways of acquiring these skills, strategies for faster and smoother learning experience, the role of practice and application, and things to note. So, importance of skill acquisition, I can't overemphasize this. It is what can place you out there. Now is the time for you to actually acquire those needed skills. So if you are an undergraduate, it is very, very easy for you, or you are at an advantage position. If you are a graduate, employed, unemployed, you can easily pick up these skills because of the advent and the developed IT space that we have now, whereby things are available at your fingertips online. So it is very, very important now, because unlike initially, whereby what you come out with in terms of your background, your certificate will play a major role. It doesn't right now. See, I tell you, if you come out with you study Yoruba, and you are planning on doing this career switch, you look inward and you notice that what you're actually good at is consulting, or probably human relations or something. Then you can easily set out a roadmap or a strategy, look at those skills you need to acquire, and just set out the roadmap and just go a step at a time in acquiring those skills. So I'll quickly run through my slides here. So just kinds of skills, you have the technical skills and we have the soft skills. So the technical skills can also be hard skills. Talk majorly about job specific skills and relevant to your career or your position. For example, I am a data analyst. So the data cleansing, data migration, data automation, so those are my own skills. So they are the technical skills, for example. Why soft skills are emotional intelligence, how you get to interact with people, relationship management, how are the technical skills, for example, why the students, how you get to management, your communication skills, and also how well you can relate with your team. So doing a quick roundup. So I would go first with the top 10 emerging soft skills that I was able to outline. In that, you notice at the top of the line is analytical thinking and innovation. How well you can actually use logic to answer complex business problems. How innovative are you? So these skills are easily learned. You can easily pick them up. A course or two, and with practice, will set you on the right path. It won't make you an expert, but it will set you on the right path. So active learning and learning strategies, this is very, very important. Managers will tell you why on the job, your ability to learn and to relearn so it goes a long way. It fits in how well you can adapt to changing environments. And this also is something you can pick up with a few courses. How creative you are, originality, and how you want to make use of your initiative. This also is part of those skills, emerging skills, whereby you can actually make use of technological design and programming, critical thinking and analysis. Yeah, how you can actually break down your problems into smaller chunks, make use of your root cause analysis, your 5 whys. That's a tool you can actually. So you can easily pick up these courses, and you tend to actually apply them also, which is very, very important. In critical thinking, how you get to break down your complex problems into smaller chunks, and how you get to make use of a whole end-to-end view of how to factor or how to tackle a particular problem. Also, your problem-solving skills, this is very, very important. Sometimes you narrow it down to what exactly the organizations need you for, what exactly they are paying you for, what value you deliver to them. You tend to, if you streamline it well, it's just the problem you help them to solve. And this, you can actually fine-tune your technical skills in conjunction with these complex problem-solving skills. It's something you can easily pick up. I mean easily, in that the courses are available. Now, you only need to do justice in sitting down and just making those courses your own. Also, the leadership and social influence, I wouldn't say much about it. Emotional intelligence, I mentioned that earlier, how well you can relate with people, being aware of your own emotions, how well you can collaborate with people. It might seem something you can just shift to the background, but I tell you, if you are extremely good technically, your art skills are sound, and you are not such a people person, or you are not so you can't interact well, you will not be a go-to person for people when they are in need of someone to solve a problem. It's something you should have in your arsenal as you tend to acquire those skills. Also, logical reasoning skills and system analysis, how to check. So I will quickly run through the art skills, which of course I know seem as if it's much more important. So looking at, I will tend to marry the technology and the skills together. So if you look at my list, it seems as if it is IT, it's a bit biased when it comes to, so it wasn't intentional, but this is just a top 10 C that I did. At the top of the ladder, you see artificial intelligence. So they make use of machine learning, deep learning, TensorFlow, Python. Those are the skills you need for, and we already see that in play in our self-driving cars, our artificial intelligence. So we also have robotics engineer also, whereby it deals with the software and the hardware part of engineering. We have data scientists. They help with the forecast, price prediction. You notice some of these things that you interact with online are actually, you see price predictions, and here they are what's part of the skills that this data and scientist actually takes care of. And these are the skills. And I tell you, these skills are easily learned. It is something you can just pick up. It is something you just need to devote time to it and just acquiring it. We have the full stack engineer. So the framework they make use of are majorly the React, the Node, the JavaScript, and the CSS. So if at all you need an elaborate discussion on this, you can easily just contact me for it. You also have the data analyst and the engineer. This, I've narrowed it down to the top 10 emerging skills in the workplace. So they make use of their framework, majorly Excel. And as I mentioned Excel now, it's the normal general office too, but I bet you it does much more than that. It's client ready, I know, but you can also fine tune it to answer some data problems. Like they say, data is the new oil, but if you can actually refine it, cleanse it, and bring out the insight from it, it will just be there. It won't answer much. So Tableau here is a framework for visualizing data, Power BI, Click, and the likes. So if you notice, Python is just reoccurring here and there. So if at all you are into this space, this is something you cannot just do without. This is something you cannot just do without. So we also have cybersecurity specialists. They deal with how secure our data is, our data privacy issue, our data protection issue, our information security issues, our network security issues also. So this, I would later on talk about the mediums through which you can acquire these skills and the courses to also take on it also. We have the Chief Revenue and Assurance Officer. These skills will also still be in vogue also. We have the big data and data technologies and data privacy. So if you at all you are considering any of the listed, or probably the skills you are looking at are not, so these are just some of the skills you can look into and see if it is something that interests you, if it's something that fits with what you intend in your career goals and objectives. Okay, moving on, let me just talk about the ways of acquiring these skills. Just two majorly, I just extended it to theory. We have virtual learning environment, majorly used in the educational institutions, whereby all you have in terms of your physical classrooms are just modeled up and digitized for you in the form of like virtual learning environment. So, but that is for virtual learning environment is different from our massive open online courses, which is what majority of people are using right now. I guess it takes over, let's say 90% of ways whereby you can acquire these skills. This is what is available now. It's massive, it is open. Massive means it is available. It is open means it is free for everyone. Although there are some paid packages as you tend to move up the cadre, and it is online majorly. So we have some platforms for it, just like Fumi rightly mentioned. LinkedIn Learning is something I've been making use of personally. I personally make use of it in terms of my soft skills, because I have other platforms to own my own technical and hard skills like EDX, Coursera, Udacity, Udemy, Datacamp, and the likes. So also we have the physical meetings. The traditional physical meetings are still there. They're like a traditional version of the massive online open courses we have. And some of them, off the top of my head, we have Utiva, Rasa Gracia. Am I still on now? Okay, so we have Utiva, Rasa Gracia, Data Leon, EduBridge. So some of these platforms, frameworks are there for us to actually ride on. So moving quickly, I would just like to talk briefly on just a few strategies that would actually make our learning experience in acquiring those skills much more smoother. So we have having a personal roadmap. This is, and also not just having it, making sure that you are strict about it, strict adherence to it, you follow it up, you have a personal roadmap, having a short-term and a long-term objective on it, that okay, so time I should be able to have captured this. This is a 1 month course. This is what I should have been able to acquire. And also, you cannot overemphasize the need for mentorship. You cannot just talk so much about it. So there's always a need for mentor. You have to. It is not hard to acquire one. Make use of any of these social media platforms that you have. I make use of LinkedIn personally. Search about your career or your skills, your intending career, your skills. Look at those people, they pop up, the results, the names. It will bring out result of people you can actually add them as part of your connections. Message them, and you can just have a one-on-one conversation with them. Ask them when it's free for you to actually have a brief discussion with them, and they can easily put you through. One thing I've noticed on LinkedIn is that people are always ready to actually give out their time if they find it that people will actually make use of it. Also, your research skills would also play a very good role when the time comes to having a smoother and a faster learning experience in terms of acquiring those skills. You have to develop that skill in terms of like your research skills should be top notch. So even if at all you've been making use of your research skills in other aspects, you have to now like divert it to in terms of your skill acquisition. And also, for example, in one way whereby Google have actually helped me majorly for my researching capabilities, that for a while I was asked to work on tracking the effectiveness and performance of my colleague based on the fact that I measure their performance on the report that I do. So our former formula was actually not working. I was stuck with that project of building a formula. So I was tracking my brain around it. I think I worked or something like that. I should quickly pick it up. So it was becoming more daunting for me. It just occurred to me I can easily just research it and so before I knew it, in a few minutes I was able to do what I was looking for, get the answer, customize it to what I need, and present it to my manager. Before you know it, he loved it, and that is what we are actually making use of right now. So that is there are other ways whereby you can make use of your research capabilities. It is something you actually need to develop even as you own your skills also. Then an evaluation model, just for you to do a check. Okay, this is how I'm doing, this is what I've taken, this is where I can apply it. Just to have a model where you can also evaluate yourself on how you've gone. Also, just to talk about the rule of practice and theory. So a writer once said that until you practice what you learn, it actually remains to be seen that you know. You actually, you can say what you know, you think you know. How that you do it. So you can, the role of you pick up courses and you feel you know them, or well, until you apply them also. Just talk about the role of practice and theory. So the writer once said to at least a real life also talk about the role of practice what you've learned. It's actually you should be mindful of the fallacy of theory and application and try to bridge that gap to the rest of them. You can just, there's some in-course projects, when you start taking on those projects, just taking on those courses in line with the skills you're trying to acquire. There will be some in-course projects whereby you can take just furnish your understanding of that course, that skill. And also you can just take up internship and improve on the job. It will always help you make those concepts clearer and also at least point you to the complexities of the business world. Also, I think I've talked about this, being mindful of time also. Just wrapping up, just a few things to note. What you know, you can say what you know, you think you know. How note that as much as you know that job hunting is a job on its own, the skill acquisition process also it's a job on its own. It's something you should take very, very serious. Just as you take the process of job hunting very seriously. It's not something you can just say, okay, I'm take up today, and you can't be here and there about it. It's like a job on its own. It needs your full attention, and also be mindful of information overload. In the sense that one of those thoughts, sometimes you get lost in the array of knowledge coming, lost in the array of courses you can take, and sometimes you get lost in the ocean of information you have. Go back to your why, go back to your roadmap and see that you stick, at least you stick to that roadmap, your short-term goal and short-term goal, and make sure you cover. Also good to document your learning journey. Make use of LinkedIn, document your learning journey, your difficulties that you're facing. Then you're able to. Yeah.
Hello, Kaide. Hello,
Since I've
Kaide.
overshoot my time.
Hello, Kaide. Can Kaide hear me? Hello, please. Time is almost fast spent. Can you help wrap up and also just give us about 2 minutes, in about 2 minutes, how your journey was when you were actually learning the skills. Yeah, please. In just
Thank
2
you.
minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So in wrapping up, you should probably try and collaborate and join the community also very, very important. And also lastly, the need to actually flaunt your skills, flaunt what you have on various medium. You have LinkedIn, you have Upwork, you have Job. So in talking about my journey, it's pretty simple. I studied economics and just the average guy where I was, there was nothing to fall back on. Trying to apply for a job, nothing was coming through. So just sat down. I took up a teaching course for a while, just to keep going and still apply. But I got a nudge from a friend, and before you know it, I picked up a course on LinkedIn. I picked up another course on EDX about data analysis, and picked up another course on it. Before you know it, and I started my own analyst repertoire. So that was why I was able to move into that. And in my current role, how I got the job was very, very, it was just like God's grace, I guess, and my due diligence. It was just from LinkedIn also. I just woke up one morning ready to go on my course. I saw up about the data analyst job. I contacted the person, I called the person, he gave me an email to. So cutting the long story short, I went for the interview, and that was how I just got the job. So you can't just underestimate what the power of LinkedIn and the power of you being able to focus on your skills and your career and your passion. It will actually go a long way. So if you have any question, I'm still right here. Thank you.
So thanks a lot, Kayode.
Thank you.
Tolu, you're on mute.
Please, the votes of thanks a lot, Kayode. That was really good. Network, we were still battling network in Nigeria, so it's all good. It's all good. Sometimes we can still have Kayode back to really share to really give us the full gist of his experience and his journey. Yeah. So Pastor Dikwa won't be here to do the vote of thanks. I really want to thank everybody for coming on. And before Evangelist Tunde Jayola do the vote of thanks, I want to tell everyone that there is certificate of participation. So to get your certificates in your email, there's just one thing you need to do. Go to your LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, open a LinkedIn account. Then do two things. Number one, follow Excellent Fit Initiative on LinkedIn. Follow our page on LinkedIn. Then tag the page. Highlight the lessons you learned from today's Zoom conference or Zoom meeting. So after that, do a screenshot. Send it to my phone number 081. You can send it to our what's it called? You can send it to our mail. Then we'll respond by giving you your certificate. All right. And if you're watching us on Facebook, or if you'll be watching us on YouTube, whatever time you're going to be watching, just do two things. Follow us, follow Excellent Fit Initiative on LinkedIn, send a screenshot, and we'll send you your certificate. So Evangelist Tunde Jayola, please do the vote of thanks so that we can end this meeting. Evangelist Tunde Jayola, please. Yaladima, let's have Evangelist Tunde Jayola. Okay.
Hello, is Pastor Awe online?
Yes, Pastor Awe is online. So.
Okay, Pastor Awe will take it.
All right.
Thank you. Go on, sir.
Thank you, Evangelist Tunde Jayola, for passing the baton to me. On behalf of EFI, on behalf of Christ Gospel Apostolic Church, on behalf of the graduate group of EFI, and on behalf of Pastor Dipo Folari, who is supposed to take up this responsibility, we want to say a very big thank you to everyone who has given up their time to attend this landmark seminar. We call it landmark because it is, and I hope that just like one of us tag dates, indeed, I believe this will mark a turnaround in the life of everyone who is here present. And we cannot just be better than what we are right now. You know, just like in one of my write-ups that, look, every product, you know, that is fine-tuned, you know, every recipe that is improved or becomes a better product. And I want to believe that we have learned so much today from our three speakers. Their life-sharing experience, of course, is worthy of note, and I believe it will inspire us. It will spur us up to work harder. It will spur us up to make our life better. It will form part of, you know, a memorial in order to become a better person. So I will say to every one of us that the race is up, the race is on rather. Let us buckle our shoes and get ready to work. Our place is unoccupied. It's open for us in the world out there. All we need to do is to make ourselves better, acquire the right skill that we need, and then we will occupy our right place. We hope to see you all again in the shortest possible time. We won't stop at what we are doing. We will take it to the next level, and in no time we will be beckoning on everybody to come to the round table and learn again. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to Lulokwe Fasoya. To Lulokwe has been an inspiration, you know. I mean, it wasn't an error when myself and Evangelist Tunde Jayola said to her that, look, you will be running this show. And she has not disappointed us. Tolulokwe is a fantastic resource person. And I hope, you know, that the Lord will reward you. You've done so well in in being at the fore, in calling us up. Tolu does not sleep. 11 a.m., p.m., right? 12 midnight, the three of us is up there. She's sending messages. She's telling us, look, I'm expecting your response. She's on your toes. She's really, making you, to really work hard. You are fantastic. I pray for you again that God will reward you. You will occupy your right place in among the great people in the world. You won't be left out. Likewise, every one of us. Evangelist Tunde Jayola, thank you for your time. Sometimes you are just, out of the radar and you will resurface again. It's tough, in spite of your hard work and your limited time, you also created time. EFI graduate coordinators, every one of you, Brother James, sister, thank you for giving up your time for these, the prayers, the advice, the push, always asking us what is next, give us update, give us update. We give glory to God for a successful outing. Thank you, Bifel. Thank you, CGAC, for giving us a back to ride on. Thank you very much. We hope to see you again. God bless you all.
Amen. Thanks a lot, Pastor. Thanks to everyone who has joined. It is time to say goodbye. Goodbye to everybody. We hope to see you probably next month.
Okay, thank
so
you
that's
everyone. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you, Madam Tolu and Mr. Jayola. Thank you very much, Mr. Pastor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Really do not why. Thank you all. God bless you.
God bless you, everyone.
Thank you, Pastor.
I appreciate all of you.
Yeah, thank you.